Good morning, everyone. Janie here, and welcome back to my garden. So we have kind of an eventful day today. It's very exciting. So last week we got notice from Home Depot that our window order was ready. Yes, so exciting. Okay, so we got our house windows totally replaced because we had the old, really old single pane windows, and it didn't keep in any heat or keep out any heat. So we splurged and we purchased them from Home Depot. However, we purchased them, of course, in the middle of the pandemic. It took almost a year for them to get here after we ordered them, for them to get here and to get installed. And so we thought, oh, okay, that's all right. We've got our windows installed. However, when we were doing that, we were trying to save money. We were in emergency mode, right? And we were trying to save as much money as possible. So we decided not to replace this window. And this window just goes from our front patio into our garage. So we thought, okay, there's no functional need for this window to be well insulated or anything like that. So we thought, okay, well, that's a good way to save a couple $100s, right? That'll be really good. Now it is just bugging us, Jason and I, so much. That is our front door right there. We walk by this window every single day, and now I'm doing YouTube videos and I'm showing this old, ugly window, in all of my videos. And so we thought, man, that was a huge mistake for not getting this window replaced. It would have just cost us just a little bit more to get it replaced. So we decided this year we were just going to get it replaced just for aesthetics, aesthetic looks. It's obviously not going to insulate the garage at all, but it's just so ugly and it's right in front of the front door. So when we ordered it, I thought it was going to be the same way. I thought it was going to take about 8 months or a year or however long it was going to take. I thought it was going to take a long time. So I kind of was just resigned to not really getting it this season. However, we got notified last week that it was ready and they are coming today to install it. So exciting. So Jason is in the garage. He's kind of clearing everything out. We got to take these blinds down. I think we might take down this window box just to get it out of their way. I don't know if we need to take it down, but it is pretty easy to take down because it's just kind of clipped in there on a little hook. You guys will see if we do take it down. But yeah, so Jason and I are getting all of that stuff ready this morning. And then let me take you guys to the backyard. And then in the backyard, one of the projects that I wanted to do this month was I have my greenhouse here. Here's my pergola. Let me turn around so you guys have a better view. Okay, so here's my greenhouse. And yes, everything is a mess because we had a surprise rain yesterday, intense rain. So we rushed and we grabbed all the cushions as much as we could. So I will clean that up today. But here is my greenhouse, and it's sitting right in the middle of this little area that we left open for it. And it's great. I love it. It's a perfect place to have the greenhouse. However, we live in Northern California, zone 9B, and during the summer it gets hot. And when I say hot, I'm talking about days on end of 100 degrees. So there is no point. I have no use really for my greenhouse during the summer season. Last year I had a shade cloth that I put over it to see if I could keep it cool enough to at least keep some plants in there in the shade. And it was still just way, way, way too hot. So that's okay. I use it a ton during the winter season. I still think it's worth it to have a greenhouse right there because I use it all the time when it's colder, but it's taking up quite a bit of my my square footage in my backyard, and I do not have a big backyard. So what I was thinking is about we never actually bolted down the greenhouse. There was no need to, it's really, really protected in this area. So, when it's super windy, it will move a little bit, but never enough, knock on wood, never enough to make it a big deal. So it's not bolted down. So what my thought is I'm going to move it over. You can see all this extra room over there that we just scooted over so it would get the most sun possible. What if I just moved it over about halfway this distance, because we keep our pool equipment right there. So we still need to get to that spot. But if I moved it over here, that would give me so much extra space right here, which is a full sun area. And full sun area means a planting area. So what I decided to do is I decided to purchase one of those galvanized watering troughs, actually 2 of them. So I will insert a picture right here if you guys don't know what I'm talking about. So I've seen this done a lot. It's all over the internet, and I think it's really pretty and a really cheap way to do a raised garden bed. And especially because I am on concrete right here, I can't have one of those open bed ones. And I also want it to be mobile because once the winter season hits again, fall and winter, I want to move my greenhouse back to this spot so it gets as much sun as possible. So I want this to be as mobile as I can possibly make it. So I think one of those watering troughs is absolutely perfect. And then one of my friends, Rich from the old Swede's farm, he did a video last week on how to set up a watering trough for good drainage. And I thought, all right, well, that's it. It's decisions made. I am going with one of those. So thank you, Rich, for putting that video out. I will link it in the description down below. So what I did is I ordered them from Home Depot, and I ordered a bunch of bags of dirt from Home Depot, and it is getting delivered today. So it's a very exciting day. Lots of Home Depot stuff because we got the windows through Home Depot, and then I got the water trough through Home Depot. It's just the closest big box store that we have to us. So yeah, so today my plan is we're going to kind of get both of these areas really prepared for these 2 deliveries. I have no idea when they're going to show up. We're kind of just waiting on them, and our schedule is around them. So I'm gonna, Jason and I are both working to try and do what we can to get things ready. And then once they come, I'll film it for you guys, and hopefully I have something to show you by the end of the day. So we'll see. All right, here's Jason taking down the old ugly blinds. I'm excited that those are getting down. We got to get new blinds to replace it, huh?
We do.
Look at that view. Isn't that pretty? Maybe we don't get blinds, but then everybody can see into our messy garage, so we probably need blinds. Okay, so you can see we actually decided to take the flower box off because we thought it'd just be easier for the install guys, and then they wouldn't be, having to reach over the flowers and possibly break some of the flower branches off. But the benefit of that is that I can show you guys how I attached this to my house, and this is the exact same way that I attached it over by my kitchen window, which is stucco. So all I did is I went and I think this is a 1x8. I think that's what I ended up getting from the store. And then I found the studs that were here, and it's pretty easy to find the studs where they are in the window. And plus it's unfinished on the inside, so I could just see where the studs were. And then I attached this backer board to the studs. So I know this backer board is nice and super secure because it's attached at multiple spots to the studs. And then I just attached the brackets that came with the flower box. I attached those to the backer board. And so that just makes it super secure. It's not pulling on the stucco, over on my other one, and it's not pulling on the siding, and it's keeping any of the wetness away from the house as well. So I actually think this is a pretty good system that this flower box uses. I will try and find the flower box and link it. Sometimes it's on Home Depot's website, sometimes it's on Amazon, but it's a pretty common flower box. I think it's Maine, M-A-Y-N-E, that makes it. It's a pretty common flower box, so it's pretty easy to find. You just have to find where they have it in stock at the time. So yeah, so that's going to be like that. I hope the install guys don't step on my plants here. Even if they do, it's okay. I get it. So yeah, so now we're just waiting for them to get delivered. I have to go to the backyard and I have to start cleaning up that to prepare for that delivery. So I've been working hard in the backyard. I've got the greenhouse moved over and it all cleaned out, and that was kind of a mess. There was a lot of spider webs. And then I got this area all clean, and I actually had my shop vac, and I was vacuuming up the spider webs that had developed underneath these couches. So I'm glad that I got all this stuff done nice and clean, but Jason just got a text saying that our delivery is on its way. So I think it's time for a coffee break and to wait for the delivery. So delivery number 1 is here. You guys can see I got about 18 bags of this raised bed mix. That was a total estimate of what I think it's going to take to fill this. So according to what Rich from the old Swede's farm said, is that you drill holes into the bottom. There's one stuck in here upside down. So you drill holes all over into the bottom, and then you fill it with rocks. And I have lots of rocks over on the side yard that we're going to be getting rid of eventually. So I didn't want to buy gravel or anything like that. So I'll put, I don't know how much, a couple inches of rocks. And then he said that you cover the rocks with landscape fabric, which I bought as well. So it's going to be holes in the bottom, then a couple inches of rocks, then weed control film, and then I'll fill with this soil. So yeah, so project I got to get started working on. And then it's about the time where they said that the window guy is going to come to install, so they should be here pretty much any minute, I think. Well, that was tough, and now I know why. I was wondering why it was so heavy, and I couldn't get them out of each, after they were nested in with each other, and now I know why. There's not 2 of them. There was actually 3 of them. There was a smaller one hiding in there. So I only ordered 2, and I will call Home Depot and let them know that they sent a 3rd one on accident. They can come back and pick it up if they want, or I will just take a 3rd one, I guess. Darn! So my plan for right now is I'm going to flip them all over. I'm going to get my drill, and I'm going to use my, what do they call it? Like a carbon black tip. I don't know. It's a drill bit that I have in my drill bit set, and it says it's good for metal. So I'm just going to drill a whole bunch of holes in the bottom of these things. it is a new day. As you can tell, we worked hard yesterday. I worked hard yesterday. So the window guys finally came. You can see that they did that. I am so happy with it. I'm so excited that we splurged and we got that window replaced because it makes such a difference. And then when they were installing that, I was working late into the evening working on those water troughs. And that was a hard project, not only because it was like a lot of heavy lifting type stuff, but it's hot. And those things are like radiating heat as they sit there. So I was wearing gloves just because they were too hot to touch at times. So I'm super happy with what I got done. I think that yesterday was a super, super productive day. I will show you guys what I did in the backyard, but let me show you this window first. And here it is. Doesn't it look good? I will do a split screen of before and after just so you guys can see what a gigantic difference this was. And I wish we had just done this last year when we got the rest of the windows replaced. But again, I didn't think about it and we were trying to save a pretty penny. You know, hindsight's 2020. You can see I have my mom's tutor still in the garage. We still have to get that up to her house, but you guys, it looks so good. So I have been having some issue with this flower box, I think with the watering. And so when I removed it, I actually cut the drip to it. And then I actually plugged it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get one of those stoppers. One of you guys reminded me that there's the little, oh God, I'm blanking on the name right now. The little stoppers, the little valves, that's what I'm thinking, a valve to put towards it. So I think I'm going to do that just so I can control the water a little bit more. As soon as I cut it off, so we cut it off yesterday, and so that's been sitting there dry for probably about 2 or 3 days now with the drip, the last time the drip went on, and it's looking a little bit better already. So definitely a watering problem. The window looks wonderful. Let me show you guys the backyard. And here's what I've been working on. All right, so I got both of the troughs. I've got them both moved back here. I actually broke up a stepping stone and I put them underneath the trough. So the troughs aren't sitting directly on the concrete. They're sitting on the stepping stones. Now, I do have to say this is a full sun area, but I did move this umbrella over here just so I can have a little bit of relief from the heat. And this umbrella, I cannot even tell you guys, I've used it so much since we got it. I was so hesitant to get an umbrella because I thought, oh, we have the pergola, it's fine, I don't need it. I use this thing all the time and I use it for gardening all the time. That is a product that they need to invent, a gardening umbrella that comes along with you and shades you as you're gardening. I would buy that product if they had it. I don't think they have it. All right, anyway, so I put the troughs on the stepping stones, and then back in the front yard, I drilled holes all in the bottom of this. And this technique was recommended by Rich from the old Swedes farm. I think I told you guys about that yesterday. But he said, drill holes in the bottom and then put a couple inches of rock on top of that, and then put the weed control fabric on top of the rocks, and that will help with the drainage. So that's exactly what I did in this one. And the weed control fabric I used is just right here. I will link it in the video notes down below. I literally, whatever they had at Home Depot is what I bought. Same thing for the raised bed mix over there, that variety, it's just what they had. I don't have experience a lot with that variety, so I don't know if it's good or not. So, yeah, I mean, I just wanted it delivered. That's what I wanted. So, yeah, all done with this one. And then you guys can see I did string some drip. It's not totally hooked up yet. It's, it's not hooked up to our system yet, but I just strung it through, and I strung it through the drainage hole that's right there. Can you guys see that? And I know that that's a drainage hole, and I could have used that for draining the water, but it's about an inch above the bottom of the watering trough. So I didn't want water to just kind of sit at the very bottom. So I agreed with Rich when he said, put the drainage holes down in the bottom. And then I just left that open. It'll be covered with rocks and covered with the weed fabric. And then I just brought the drip out through there. And then I'm going to connect that brown inline drip tubing, and I'm just going to kind of wrap it around here like that. So yeah, so almost done. I'm very close to being done. I just have to put the rocks in, which is probably the hardest and the loudest part. I don't know, the drilling the holes was pretty loud too. I think all of my neighbors stepped outside to see what I was doing, just because that was so loud in the front yard. But yeah, almost done. And I wanted to bring you guys along so you guys could see step by step what I did to fill up these watering troughs. Because, honestly, it's actually not that not that hard of a project. It's a really easy project for raised beds, to make raised beds on a patio. This is a pretty easy way to do it. All right, let's get going. All right, you guys, I am done. I got the rest of the rocks in this one, the weed fabric, and then the rest of the soil. It took about 6, maybe 6.5 bags of soil to fill this one up, and I didn't count with this one, but obviously I'm pretty sure it's the same. So all in all, a pretty easy, I mean, you know, it's all relative, but it is a pretty easy project compared to what a raised bed project could be. Like, for instance, my dad making my mom the redwood raised bed. So this was a very easy version relative to that. So I'm super excited to get these planted up. I already have a plan for what I'm going to put in them. I actually already have most of the plants that I'm going to put in them. I've just been waiting for a spot to plant them. So super excited. I will definitely have a video about that. Let me know if you guys have any questions. And again, I will link Rich's video down below. So I hope you all enjoyed this. If you did, please consider subscribing, and I hope you all have a chance to get into your garden today. And Stanley wants to say hi. Hi, bud. All right, have a good day.